ladies. Hey, Lateshia.
Hi, Crystal. How are you? Great to see you.
Great to see you too. Sending love and all the good things your way. And hey, Kerri, it's so nice to meet you.
Hi, Crystal.
I enjoyed getting to know you a little bit on the first episode. We've been following Belle Collective since the very first season. So I'm a huge fan here at Lenox and Parker. We are very big fans of the show. Before I get into talking a little bit more and getting to know you, I got to go to Lateshia. We've been talking to her for years. And want to ask you, Lateshia, when this episode starts, it seems like there's a little bit of a disconnect between the reunion, right? Specifically with, I mean, a lot of the friendships with the girls, things are just very, very different when we, get to Jackson this season. First of all, I want to ask you about Glenn, because Glenn, we knew had a box truck. And so we see this season opening with you guys saying that Glenn has been home a lot more. So what happened with the box trucks and Glenn's transportation business?
First, Crystal, thank you. You know, it's always an honor to see you, girl. It's always an honor. So, blessings to you, beautiful. First, I will say entrepreneurship is not for everyone, right? And for me, I think you guys last season, I was sitting down trying to put his plan together and try to figure out things. And I think when it comes to anybody, you can't want something for someone more than they want it for themselves. So Glenn has been in the oil industry for years. This guy can do that in and out and with his eyes closed, right? So I'm like, Glenn, you're not going to be serious about it. I have purpose. I'm moving forward. There's so many things that I have going on in my life. So Glenn is back home. He's actually back in the oil industry doing great. He's home. He was just able to go to Joshua's football game last night, which is great. He's back doing that. He's making more money at home. So everything is good. I mean, and I listen, I was about to stress myself for nothing. That is not my thing. Okay.
Right,
That's what I'm
right.
telling you about is, and it's not for me. I'm not taking on no more extra projects. That's not elevating me.
I know that's right. I
Yeah.
know that's right. Well, Kerri, you joined and you have a lot going on yourself. It's exciting to see another Belle that has, that's in the restaurant industry and has, three thriving businesses, a husband that's a sport agent. What made you decide to join this cast, at this time with so many things going on, so many hats already, on your head?
Well, when Lateshia asked me, like a true Southern Belle that she is, she extended that opportunity. And like me, I just walked right through the door because every Southern Belle knows that when someone extends an invitation, you graciously accept.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's on Southern Belle. But honestly, I have been watching these ladies doing so many amazing things in front of the camera, in front of the world. And of course, I wanted to join that cast and be a part. Everybody has such a magnetic personality. And so, like a magnet, I was just reeled right in, if I'm being honest. And if anyone follows me on social media, my whole purpose is to uplift women. Women in underrepresented communities, that is my heart. And so I know that one of the best ways to uplift women is by representation and showing the little girls in us and the, little girls in real life and the little girls inside of us that look at that lady who's doing this and who's doing that. And I just wanted to be a part of that.
So I love that. And we definitely get the feeling that you are a girl's girl. But I would say if you've been watching the show, over the last 5-6 seasons, or at least 5 seasons, that there's some issues with the ladies. And there have been some friendships that have been, that have had trouble over the past, season. So what were your thoughts coming in? And obviously you have allegiance to Lateshia because she extended the invitation, but did you have any thoughts on the other ladies and who you thought she would really gel with or who you were looking forward to meeting?
I was really looking forward to meeting Tambra because we have a similar background being in, I guess, like the media space. Of course, I wanted to meet Jackson's Beyonce, Selena, and I understand why people call her that because her presence is so real. Latrice, oh my God, another boss babe. Like, I couldn't wait to come in. And I hate when people say the term pick your brain, but it's so good to gel with other women in your space, other restaurateurs that get it. So there was that excitement there for sure. I have to be honest, I was a little bit apprehensive to meet Marie because I know what type of smoke Marie brings, but I didn't have a problem fanning the flames.
That's a good way to put it. Fanning the flames. I like that. Uh, you have been trying to mend this friendship between Latrice and Marie, from the very beginning, from that first brunch, from your first brunch there on Ferris Street, trying to get these two women to get to a better place and seeing that they could potentially be there this season. What are your thoughts on finally seeing a friendlier version? I'm not going to say they're friends. They may be frenemies at this point with Latrice and Marie.
Crystal, oh my gosh, I think that this is amazing to witness. Like you have, no, well, you do. You've been following the show. Like it was like pulling teeth. So just to see them cordial, just to see them being in a space alone, and that they can have conversation, it is so amazing. I think that that shows too, even in that sisterhood, that you can go through things, but you can also grow through things. So I love that, and I love seeing that dynamic for sure.
Well, that's good. And like I said, I know a lot of that has been, we've seen you trying to pull everybody together. This season, like I said, it seemed a little bit, there's a lot of things that seem very different. Marie and Latrice are friends. We have Selena, back. We're missing some of the other ladies. What are your feelings about that? We're missing So Gucci, and also, well, I don't know that the doctor actually, the dentist actually really was there last season. But what do you think about losing So Gucci and also Aikisha, them not being a part of the season this year? We definitely got, with Kerri, we got new energy, but what are your thoughts on losing those two ladies?
I respect their decision. I respect everyone's decision, and everyone has to do what's best for them. And what I love most, like you said, we do have Kerri, we do have the OG Bells, and this season is going to be definitely one for the books. I think that when it comes to this group here of women, we are really. I will go on the record to say that we have really, really shown. I think, Kerri, would you agree that this season we were able to really talk through things and really focus on what's
Finding
bothering us
resolution.
and finding resolution. I think a lot of times when we look at past seasons, there was no resolve. No one wanted to find people were just so closed in. I think with this season, this group of women, Crystal, you're gonna see us really show like this is how you made me feel versus all the extra. So I think when it comes to losing people from Belle Collective, I wish them well in their endeavors, and I respect anyone's space and their decisions. But this cast here that we have and the women that we have here this season, it's definitely going to be one for the books.
That is definitely good to hear. I want to ask you, because you were kind of like you're the glue, right? And you created this group of women and brought them together. How has your vision changed from that first brunch and the first conversation about revitalizing Ferris Street to where your mission and your personal mission and goals and are today, and then also the goals for the group?
That's a great question. Even prior to Belle Collective, I've always stood 10 toes down on the purpose. I feel like when you operate in purpose and you know what your purpose is, it'll start pulling you. And when you get out of alignment with that, you will notice it. So a lot of seasons, even in Belle Collective, I could tell that I was not aligned. So for me, the mission is still the same. That's to advocate and to promote collaboration over competition and to really change the stereotype of what people think Mississippi is and see that you have these boss women out here. Yes, we're navigating relationships. We're navigating marriage and friendships and businesses, but at the end of the day, we can all come together and really work together for a major cause. So the mission is still there. It's collaboration over competition and just showing the world, inspiring the world that you can go through struggles but still be an inspiration.
Are you still connected to revitalizing Ferris Street, or do you have bigger vision now? Because you've been doing brunches all over the world right now. I mean, all over the United States right now. So
Yeah.
are you focused on that more, or do you still want to bring that back to Jackson?
Well, I hope and pray that, we do have a Black Mecca back in the state of Mississippi. But for me, purpose has pulled me in a different direction. And that is focusing on why I created Women Brunch Mississippi in 2017. And that is to provide a platform for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, not to just brunch, but to also network and provide resources to your credit repair specialist, someone from the IRS, your accountants, people who can help entrepreneurs and aspiring and equip them for success. So for me right now in 2026, I'm launching my brunch tour. and actually want to start here in Mississippi. That was the purpose and the reason of Women Brunch Mississippi in 2017. So again, it's still there, and I love to see a Black Mecca come to the state of Mississippi, but purpose has pulled me in a different direction.
Okay, we're behind that,
Thank
definitely
you.
behind that. I want to ask you, Kerri, coming into the show, because the women, the friendships and the relationships with the women are one portion of the show, but then we also see the relationships between the women and their significant others, is a big topic, a big portion of this show as well. And I think it was occurred to me watching this first episode that we are usually a lot better as women, as boss women and career women, when home is in a great place, when we're being loved correctly, when that is in sync, when the husband, when the man and the children or significant other and the children are all on a good page. What are your thoughts coming in, being married and seeing that sometimes, reality television and specifically shows that focus on the family relationships can sometimes, cause stress or bring additional problems to a relationship? Where do you see yourself fitting in that? And do you feel like your relationship with your husband is balanced to where you all are able to take on the show and not let it affect your relationship?
I would say that being on the show actually, and I know nobody is expecting this answer, but it actually helped my relationship because my husband is one of those, he is an alpha male. He is a very manly man. And being on the show brought a lot of his feelings and thoughts to the surface, whereas he would hold things in. And so he was just kind of firing off at me. And I'm like, what? Like, you got a problem with what? So, for me, it was an opportunity for those things to come to the surface and for us to actually speak about them and deal with them versus we're all over the place. I'm over here running 3 restaurants. I've got my social media business. Sometimes I put family last, and I will be the first to admit that. I'm not the only woman in the world who does that. But I want to bring some clarity to how real people live their lives, how real entrepreneurs live their lives. And, I felt scrutinized during the season, maybe internally by myself or by my husband. And it's okay because sometimes we have to hold that mirror up to ourselves and look at who we are and what we have going on and press pause. And so in that regard, I actually enjoyed being on this journey of being on the show because it forced my husband and I to really lock in and deal with some things that were under the surface.
Okay, that is definitely a positive. That's a positive way to take it. I love that. Lateshia, we saw. Well, first of all, Marie is not here, but I would say Marie definitely is we have never seen Marie this, happy and this light. She just feels very light, at least from this first episode. And I don't know if that's because she got Cedric and a Noble or what. What's going on?
You see it, okay?
She says she's getting it. She's getting all her needs met. So
yes,
she is definitely in a different space. But I want to say to you, I know, from myself, seeing you as a sister and so many women that watch this show and really learn and have grown to love all of you. Most women see this show and they're really, really rooting for you, right? And rooting for you and Glenn, but also mostly rooting for you because we feel like she's going through so much and we relate to that. I did see a couple of interviews that you've done where you said Glenn is healthy. So I'm not going to ask you about where you guys are as a couple, but I do want to ask you, how does it make you feel that so many women are rooting for you in spite of a relationship that we feel, and I'll include myself in that, does not always serve our sister, well? How do you take those well wishes from people that genuinely have grown to love you and care about you, and also still balance out what you feel like your duties are, in your marriage, because you guys have been married a really long time. But you've got to feel that the public and probably your close friends are like, we want more for you.
Crystal, I am empowered. I think even you, a couple years ago, you poured into me personally. And I am empowered to know that what I promote and even in my mentorship program, that I have that. Every strong person, they need strong people. And I feel like the ladies online, I have so many friends that I've never met. They're always DMing me. They're there for me. They want the best for me. They still support me. They be more upset at Glenn than me. And I love you guys for that. And I appreciate that. So that means the world to me to know that, you know what? No, you're not tearing me down. You're actually saying, Lateshia, we get it. We're here for you, but we want the best for you. And we hope and pray that one day you see what we want for you. So I appreciate that and I love that wholeheartedly. And I do not take that lightly.
Yeah, it's definitely coming from a good place. And I think women also see themselves in your position. I think most women can relate or have a friend that's been in a situation where they're trying really diligently. And I think marriage is worth trying. So I don't think, anyone should ever make you feel less than that. But girl, when you are ready, we are ready.
Thank you, girl. I was just in the airport not too long ago, and literally a lady came up, and my hairstylist was with me, and she was like, "Hey, I thought she wanted a picture." And Crystal, the next thing, she just came and just put her head in my chest and started crying. Girl, I don't even want to cry right now. And I was like, "All right, what's wrong? What's wrong?" And she was like, I am you. Like, you give me so much inspiration. She's like, I cannot even tell you the things that I've gone through and the things that I go through. She was like, me and my husband, we every time Belle Collective's on, you guys are our favorite. You and Glenn, we sit there because we see ourselves, and we try to find answers. She said, I try to find answers from you. She was like, and you are such an inspiration. And I was like, oh my God. And she was boo-hooing. So even when I question myself sometimes, like, girl, why did you just straight come out here and out the gate? And I was just like, this is what you guys are gonna get wherever I am in my life. If I'm happy with Glenn and we having a good time and we, whatever, or if I'm not happy with him. But to see my sisters really supporting me and really just praying for me, and I feel that it's coming from a great place, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love that.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please.
I feel that a lot of people just take marriage at face value. Lateshia and I are similar in that we've been with our spouses for like over 20 years, from the 90s. As the little kids say, from the 1900s.
Yeah.
And when you get married, it is for better or worse. Like, people forget that part. In 20 years, you're going to have some worst. But why would we judge a person because they're trying to work on and work through the worst? I give flowers to that. And I want to commend Lateshia and Glenn for taking time to work on their marriage, because nobody's perfect. Like, nobody is going to be that, oh, you messed up one time, it's time to go. I don't think marriages really even go like that. And especially not in the South. And that's what people need to realize, and just, really think through what they're judging. And not just look at a marriage or not just look at a situation by one moment, because there's so many layers. Like Lateshia spoke about the onion. There's so many layers to what makes a relationship. And just because a piece of fruit is bruised, me personally, I'm not throwing that fruit out. I'm about to cut off that little bruised part or whatever, and I'm about to just
not cut it off. Kerri.
Honestly, I think, Lateshia, you don't get enough credit for being a woman who is really trying to work through things and really trying to find resolution. People just want you to be like, oh, I'm done, I'm over, I'm done with. No, that's not what a real woman does, and that's not how a real marriage is. And I got to give y'all flowers, Lateshia. You came into the season talking about how you and Glenn were working on yourselves in your union, and I respect that. And a lot of people need to hear about that part as well.
I like that.
Kerri, very positive. Thank you.
Yeah. Kerri, talk a little bit more about, because I like what you said about things are different. The culture may be different in the South. What do you think is different? Because I do think when you see shows like Belle Collective and even Love and Marriage Huntsville, there is a different culture in the Southern states. That's why we have the whole idea of the Southern Belle. So can you speak a little bit about what you think those differences are, specifically in terms of marriage in the South than it may be in other parts of the country?
People know about the South being slower. And I think that there's beauty in that, because we take our time. We're not just going to rush. They say fools rush in. We're not going to rush to judgment. We're not going to rush to conclusion. There's things called grace. And every Southern Belle knows that we love to extend grace. And I think you have to do that when you're looking at different situations, looking at relationships, and you have to give people the benefit of the doubt, because We are all human. We're all going to make mistakes. I think as a woman who is an entrepreneur, a woman who is driven and has accomplished a lot, that can be hard on a man. It really can, because biblically and just, the way men are made, they're used to being the one that's providing. So having to be with a wife who is providing and who is booked and busy, that can be hard on a relationship too. And that can take time to figure out as well. I know my husband and I have had to work on that. I know that men can become in a vulnerable space when their wives are out doing this, that, and the third. And that can, add to situations happening where a man might find or try to find peace or what have you elsewhere. So I just think that down here in the South, we have to slow down. We have to give grace, give love, and not just jump to conclusions and making different. Lord, I'm losing my train of thought. I done went on so long, but y'all know what I mean.
That's beautiful. And I think too, with Crystal, like coming from, even from Mississippi, you see your grandparents or you see your aunties or you see people sit in situations, or you see like, you got to work it out, or y'all already know, if you down south, what goes on in this house stays in this house, right? So even with me personally, and I'm going to share this, and I hope my family is not late, but even when I first came onto Belle Collective and I talked about the infidelity, even the elders in my family, I was really like, they were like, we're going to have a meeting. Why would you talk about what's happening in your house? So I think when you ask that question about what's the difference down south, it's one of those things, what you see, you think is okay sometimes, right? And pain and being hurt over and over and over again, that's not love. A paycheck is not love, right? And it took me my grown age to realize right now, no, you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself. Love should not hurt. Yes, we're going to go through things. That's what Kerri said. That was beautiful. And Kerri, I appreciate you for those flowers, because you see me and we talk, and you know my struggles. But I just feel like down south, and being down south together, and you're growing up with your grandma, you're growing up with your aunties, and my family, like, we had a round table. Like, what are you doing? You're not, didn't we teach you what happens in this house stays in this house? So I think that too plays a lot in down south, and just want to work on it, or you just accept it.
No, that's I appreciate that candor, Lateshia. And I think, well, first of all, a lot of us, because I was born in Ohio, but a lot of us have our families are from the South, right? So that that's just part of the trajectory of African American life and culture here in the States, is that a lot of us have someone that traveled from the South to get to another place, so that those values and that idea of what stays, what's in this house stays in this house, and kind of really encouraging specifically women to swallow their pain and to still show up. And so I love the fact that, number one, you acknowledge that and spoke to that. And then we also get to see a very different example with you kind of coming into your own. And all of us, I think are on similar journeys. So I think that's why the show resonates so strongly with so many women, is because they can see themselves. We all have the grandmother that pulled us to the side, like, girl, don't, what you doing now? That's a good man, Savannah.
That's a good man, Savannah. He go to work, Savannah. You get a check now. That's a good man. What?
He brings his check home. Right. Don't you worry about what he's doing long as he's bringing the check home. So all of that is part of the culture and why we love this show, but it's also why we appreciate you being so honest. And then there also is something to a woman that will stand by her family and is willing to work on it and willing to give that grace. So I do want to give you your flowers for that as well. But like I said, girl, when you're ready, we ready.
Thank you, girl. I got a whole army. Great. I got them. I'm hitting everybody up in my DM, from my email to everything. Girl, so much empowerment. I need to invite all y'all to a brunch. Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it.
Empowering me. And I'm so grateful.
Absolutely. Well, we definitely will be tuned in to Belle Collective. You guys let people know, let our viewers know where they can tune in this season. And I can tell you all, from the first premiere episode for this season, it's going to be an amazing season. Definitely looking forward to seeing Kerri, but let people know when they can check out Belle Collective.
Run it, Kerri.
Honey, you can check out Belle Collective every Friday, starting this Friday, October 3rd, only on OWN.
8/7 Central.
I love it. Well, Friday, October 3rd is my birthday. So it's going to be an amazing season. Yes, it's going to be an amazing season because it actually comes back on my birthday. But I thank you both for hanging out with me. Lateshia, so good to see you. You know, I love you to death.
I love you
Kerri,
more.
definitely looking forward to getting to know you. And congratulations, ladies, we're looking forward to see you all deal with sisterhood in a more mature way this season that can hopefully help the viewers and, you know, entertain us as well.
Thank you.